Let's take a look at a commission problem here. And just reading through the problem, you want to make sure that you understand exactly what's going on. So what's going on in this particular case, we have two agents, Agent A and Agent B. A lists the property for $345,000. So A is the listing agent. B is representing a buyer that offered $330,000. Both of these are interesting things. Having said that, here's the most important thing when you're talking about a commission question. The property sells for $340,000. You're paid commission typically off of the sale price, and the sale price in this case is $340,000. So the total commission was 6% split between A and B's brokerages. This is not an uncommon situation. So let's look at our first step in this problem, see if this makes sense to you. Our first step in this problem is we're going to take what it sold for, $340,000. $340,000. See if this makes sense to you. We're going to multiply that number by 6% to find out what our total commissions are going to be. So 340 times 6%, $20,400. That's the total commission in this transaction, okay? However, notice that it says that it's going to be split between A and B's brokerages. So when it says split, you can assume that this was split down the middle. So therefore, 20,400 divided by two firms, $10,200 is now at each firm. Each firm has their own way of calculating commissions, and this is pretty accurate as well. You'll find when you go out and start interviewing firms that they all have different pay schemes. Broker A's firm, they split what comes into the office 50-50 with the agent. That's what it says in the problem here. So 10,200, broker A's split is 50%. And so I believe if my calculation is right, that's $5,100. So broker A split is $5,100. If you're wondering where the other $5,100 went, it went to the company to pay their overhead. So that's A's split. Now keep in mind, B is going to be different because he's with a different firm. And so they had 10,200 come into the company. Your first number is going to be the agent side of the split. And notice that the agent in this case is getting 70%. So 10,200 times 70% is $7,140. And that's how much broker B put in their pocket. B split. Okay, now let's go read the question and see what it says. How much commission will the seller's agent and the selling agent each make? Okay, now this is actually important from the understanding of how to read test questions. The seller's agent and the selling agent in this case are two different people. The seller, you see seller's possessive would be the listing agent. That's the one that's working for the seller. And you say, well, okay, well, what's the selling agent? Well, think of selling as being an active verb, okay? This is the one who procured the sale. The reason they didn't say buyer's agent is because the selling agent could come in any number of positions. It could be a buyer agent, as in this case. It could be a seller sub agent. It could be a dual agent. So having said that, they refer to it as a selling agent. But just remember, the selling agent is always the one who brings the buyer. Their relationship will be spelled in the transaction or in the test question. And notice in this case, it said at the top, B is representing a buyer. So the answer to this question is that the listing agent, the seller's agent, is going to make $5,100, and the selling agent is going to make $7,140 for representing the buyer.